Hello everyone, this is Greyshot 117 here, bringing you another Company of Heroes 2 commentary. This time it's a 2v2 in Crossing in the Woods. With me is Tank Killer. I am the Soviet player, Tank Killer is the American on the Allied side. On the enemy team we had level 22 in Diablo. Sure, why not? And yeah, they're both Ober Commando players. This map I have noticed it's more of a, even though it shows a waterway, don't expect that to actually have a real impact as like blocking the enemy, thinking like there's 3 major choke points, when in actuality the only place they can't really cross is these large pools of water. Now, if I open up Fog of War, we can see now that pretty much each side is supposedly has to capture the midpoint and go straight down, and then battle over these main control points. The problem is, as the Soviet players, you have to build stuff. You have to get equipment. Over Commando and American players, you pretty much just grab your units and push, which is exactly what these guys are going to do. Now, if I can highlight what this game is, it is going to show you the most amazing comeback your eyes have ever seen, and the closest game probably you've ever seen. Or maybe not closest point-wise, but closest, well, you'll understand. Point of the matter is, I move up my combat engineers to retake these points, and my my conscripts to move over here. Sorry, while I wait for my MG, that way it can help support, and then probably MG this position, MG this position. At least that was my goal, that way long range fire. Because right now, if you look here, Tank Killer is actually putting up his rifleman, trying to grab that precious fuel, but unfortunately a Koopa Wagon pops up. Now Koopa Wagons, again, great front armor, the only issue they have is their side armor. Don't get me wrong, it's not exactly bulletproof, but from the front, it'll take very few, a little bit of damage. From the sides, it takes a lot. As you can see, just a few shots brought down to almost a third of its health. Now, with that, pretty much, he moved up his Stern Pioneers to counter. But here's the thing, these guys are in buildings, so they're actually doing pretty good fire, along with Riflemen coming in. He puts himself, like, so close up to this building, it's ridiculous. Point of the matter is, he's still in the building, and they're in open cover, plus Riflemen are shooting him. They have no cover, they're going to be taken out. We do have a Koopa Wagon here. What I would recommend is actually getting the grenade package. That way, oh, we got the bazooka package early. The grenade package, that way you can toss a grenade, smoke it, get real close, and that thing will be like what to do. Either run through the smoke and hit you, or, I'm not sure, probably just back off, retreat, and try to heal itself. But one of the two will happen, and hopefully it's the former, because, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit ill with the flu, but I really wanted to record this gameplay. And yeah, unfortunately I don't have really time to just meander while I get better. I have to get some of these done. Point of the matter is, just go up and that way you can kill it. Now Tank Killer is putting up these nice defenses, and if we look over here, I'm backcapping, so I'm moving up my forces to try to backcap and push. However, I see this, a large influx of enemy troops. And yeah, that's pretty bad. So I'm like, okay, I have multiple forces, so let's have conscripts verse them. Conscripts can maybe verse a Volk squad by itself, and okay. The issue comes with this Koopa Wagon that's suppressing my forces, and yeah, that's pretty bad. Also, so this guy thought it would be a fantastic idea to put barbed wire all the way across, and he's gonna go insane with that. Just wait. But he's gonna mess up in the long run, which I will find hilarious. He has an MG here, well, I have an MG here firing upon this unit, and this unit's gonna have to retreat because, again, MG fire, no matter what you are, or infantry, over sustained periods of time will do a lot of damage. I move on conscript squad because I know he's here in case they flank around. I have an AT gun to help to counter their Koopa Wagons, because I'm like, okay, if I move up this unit and have a and a Koopa Wagon comes up, my AT gun will fire long range and kill it. Usually one hit, sometimes two. So anyway, I do a couple shots. My idea here was to decap this point. I saw this truck, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna fire a few shots. This actually gave us good recon because we were able to see both of these Koopa Wagons. And I kind of did a bit of damage to their HQ. Again, my combat engineers just fired a couple shots while being made, and it brought down to this much health. Again, if you really if you're in a position in which you can fire upon one of these buildings being made, take the time to fire, because literally it will save you so much time. But Tank Killer is currently being swarmed, and I hate when people do that to my friend, so I'm going to move up my AT gun and help him out. Right now I do have conscripts right over here. trying to set this down. Unfortunately, if you look at my fog of war, I didn't see that being made. Otherwise, I really would have done something about it. But in any case, I'm putting this thing down to pretty much capture this point. At the moment, they will move up more forces, and then they're going to slowly reinforce from this position, which is really going to suck. Because I'm like, oh, they have a couple forces here, let me take them out. And then he slowly kept getting healed. I'm like, wait a second, there's something wrong. I also kind of like how this thing's floating in midair with a bunch of boxes, but you know, whatever. So anyway, my T-gun moves up, and look, they have 2 Kuba wagons. Now, it's right out of sight. And they're just right on the range, and it's perfect. So, we see here, this one's like, oh, move up. And by the way, he gave his troops bazookas. They're pretty good. They're not as good as Panzerschreck, but still, they're good American AT weapons that I highly recommend you use against any armor, especially over Commando. The reason why is over Commando relies more heavily on lighter mechanized forces than the Wehrmacht does. So, again, the Puma, their Kuba wagons, even the infrared half-tracks, the Stukas, the Lukes. The only real heavy tanks they have is the Panther and the Sturm Tiger. But again, enough concentrated fire with bazookas, you'll do fine. Anything else, bazookas will most likely puncture it. My T-gun takes out that forward unit, so that's pretty good. And then it swings around over here. This one's like, oh no, takes it out. That's 2 Kuba wagons down the drain, making Red's total force 2. And one's a support gun that literally is going in. So, unfortunately, I can't really fight that. And again, this is why I recommend a grenade, because then you can just throw a grenade. I tried to use my artillery to hit it, but it moves, so I'm going to fall back. But I was at least able to do some damage, and he has to move up. He's probably have to send more squads over here to reinforce, because the tank killer is going to move in a ton of units, as you can see here, to help reinforce and take that thing out. Now, I believe, is the first time, or like, I guess, one of the newer times as Americans, because he was wondering like how do you heal, and if you're wondering how to heal, the distribute medical supplies is how you heal your forces. But anyway, we look over here. I have an MG guarding my flank because that Kuba wagon I know is still over here, and unfortunately Purple's in a much better position than the other guy. So yeah, Diablo is pretty much holding his area, and he will continue to hold this area for quite some time. But as you can see, I didn't notice until a little later, he put up this giant barbed wire defensive line. Okay? Now, you may be wondering, oh, isn't that bad? Well, it's like, yes, it would be bad if he didn't leave this opening right here. And don't be wrong, he put mines here because he realized that, but still, it's just like, really? Really? Okay. I guess I can just sneak by here. I don't know why you're blocking this whole area up. Anyway, I have forces moving up. We have a bunch of our troops over here. Although I do find it funny that there's really nothing over here. Oh, there's one troop. And that truck. But he's like, oh, I'll help Greyshot in the middle. When if he would have sent all those forces over here, probably would have done more damage. But anyway, we're trying to attack. The problem is it's versing an endless tide of reinforcements. Which again, we can't really fight because we need to take out this truck. Luckily, what do we have? Oh, we have an AT gun moving up. And a mortar. Because if we look at our actually commanders, we can see here that he went the infantry company, which has the infamous priest and also the mortar half-track, which is fantastic. Similar to the half-track on the Wehrmacht side, except I think those can do white phosphorus rounds. Yeah, white delayed fuse and white phosphorus. Again, white phosphorus won't kill an enemy, but it'll reduce them to such a low health that literally a major with a pistol can easily take them on. Now anyway, as you can see here, they're moving up a bunch of Sturm Pioneers to kill my units. My issue is, I don't like that, so I'm going to burn them to death, and use conscripts to pretty much surround them and keep shooting them. Now that's a 320 squad they lost, and you may be wondering, but Greyshot, they killed your AT. Conscripts are fantastic in a way because they can instantly heal forces. I retreat this unit, and this Kuba wagon here is like, hey, what's up? I turn this thing and be like, hey, see you later. Another Kuba wagon bites the dust. I'm then going to move my AT gun over here to assist firing, and also move up shock troops to help regain this point, because I don't care what the Oberkommando has, unless it's Fallschirmjägers or some type of, what was it? The, oh, I forget the name. Pretty much one of the Ovosodaten forces. They can't really beat shock troops close range. So they're going to be like, oh, let's push up. First off, MG. That's going to throw them through a loop. Second, shock troops. Thirdly, tank killers putting on some more pressure because, again, he was able to do a nice attack. Looks like did a lot of damage to this unit. So that's pretty good. Maybe the mortar did a lot more than I thought, or some of his normal forces. But anyway, unfortunately, they do have an MG-34 over here, and also a lot of Volksgrenadiers, so they have this position pretty stacked up. While they have this infantry support gun, which will kind of counteract, so that's kind of bad. I have shock troops kind of chase them down. I'm also moving up my AT gun to restart firing upon this position again. If I take this out, if I take this one position out, I'll be in the clear. Also, I did a grenade, which kind of made them fall back, in case you're wondering how one shock troop killed both units, or at least brought down to such a low point. Now anyway, my shock troops are still here. Another grenade going to move up and try to counter. So they're stuck here, they're paid. I'm like, okay, this is my opportunity. Have to take them out, because again, they're so close to dying. Conscripts right here, trying to hold them off. I have more conscripts over here. I'm like, okay, I'm ready, just in case. Throw a grenade. Almost dead. Moving shock troops. Shock troops instantly destroys that unit, and I think it made it. Yep, it dies. So tank killers again guarding this flank. I'm just trying to push up and take out this unit, because again, if I can take out this truck, that's a huge bonus that we can have against them, because again, this is how you rank up. If you lose the truck, you lose the units. And right now, Diablo has 220. Okay? That means he can't get a Jagdpanzer anymore. Alright? He can't get his precious tank. So all that fuel he has is useless. Don't be wrong, he can save up for a Jagdtiger if he wishes. But again, we don't have tanks. We have infantry. And Jagdtiger, no matter what anyone says, doesn't necessarily do all that much against infantry. It's a big anti-tank gun. Probably the best in the game. But still, it's not the best against infantry. So anyway, we're pushing up for more infantry. I'm like, oh my god, they have another truck. So I move up my AT gun and my MG because I'm like, okay, if I just start hitting that as soon as possible, if I take this thing out, I'll be okay. And this is when you, again, you can see what this unit's going to be, and you're like, oh my god, this is bad. This is really, really bad, because if they set this up, they can literally lock down this entire area easily. So I'm pushing up my forces, we're going to fire everything. AT gun fire, MG fire, destroys it. Now, in case you're wondering, now this guy is limited to pretty much the basic infantry that's in it, meaning Volksgrenadiers, Stern Pioneers, AT, and the Koopa Wagon. Okay? That, I mean, don't get me wrong, he can also get his special abilities, which are fantastic, but that means he's limited to infantry, not armor, and having 100 and pretty much losing 80 fuel right there, that's kind of sad. I'm also trying to move up here because my goal was to try to cut off this point, because that way they can stop getting this fuel. Unfortunately, that didn't work. Although it looks like the mortar fire is doing something, although it looks like they're trying to repair it. I think that he had moved back his, he moved back his squads, probably stopped repairing it, try to counteract my forces. He did kill my conscript squad, so there's that. I do have my MG here guarding along with AT. I'll move them back shortly, because that's a bad spot to really have. Maybe a little farther back, so it's in this choke area, but still not exactly the best area. Fortunately, this guy's pretty much huddled in his base. Diablo went from having the most units to single-handedly losing everything, which I find amazing. Yep, he only has 3 units. And considering our luck, in which we're stuck in our base and only control a quarter of the map, I say that's pretty good. And I'll say this, if we didn't do that, this would have been a short game, because they would have won. They would have gotten a Panther, or a Stuka, or something like that, and would have owned us. Now, in the meantime, level 22 got a Panther. So those who are thinking, oh, what about the other guy? Yeah, the other guy got a Panther, and it's only been 13 minutes. 13 minutes he rushed for a Panther. Now, this is both a good and a bad thing. The good news is he got himself a Panther. The bad news is he wasted all of his fuel on the Panther, meaning he has no Puma, no Stuka, no other supportive units. So essentially he's hoping this big tank, which by the way does less against infantry. Oh, now he's the MG42. Okay, so it does quite a bit, but it will do less against infantry than a Panzer IV would, just in retrospect. So at this rate, I'm like, okay, he has a Panther, move over my AT gun, and conscripts move up, try to take out. Because again, my goal is to move up and take that unit out, because again, he's stuck here. He's in our territory, think he's going to be okay. I'll flank him from the side with my AT gun once, come on, I know I do this, I know I move in. There we go. I was busy, like, trying to move up over here and take these points with shock troops and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, they have a Panther over here, that's great. So anyway, my AT gun is currently firing. I have conscripts moving in to move a throw grenade in the mix. So, yeah, pretty good. Get more AT gun fire. Another. Ooh, another shot. That thing is barely alive. One AT grenade probably would have killed it. It's so close. The lucky AT grenade, I should say. Maybe, yeah. But anyway, we still hold this position. I'll keep my AT gun here, and I'll move an MG just to guard this point. I know I can't really see it, but oh my god. Yeah, so that plane crashed. And if you're wondering, they have, where is it? Yeah, AA fire coming from this location and from all these flak emplacements. So, yeah, they have quite a bit of anti-air, but I will keep deploying recons nonetheless, that way I can get eyes on what they have, even though there will be planes crashing all over this map. Now, pretty much, if we, we switch over to Diablo, he only has a couple of forces. He's actually, I mean, he put this, thing here. The nice thing is, though, it's only guarding this area. So it's only guarding his base, which is great for us, because all we need to do is capture this point and the fuel. As long as it stays far away, we're fine. We're okay. And I don't mind. By the way, my shock troops over here, he thought it would be a great idea to, again, hide his volks. The difference between his Stern Pioneers and my shock troops have a grenade. And also, a little bit better, a little bit more powerful. Unfortunately, the problem is, I wasn't able to throw that grenade, nor was I able to really do much, because I had to fall back. Same thing with my conscripts over here, although I did capture this point, which now, at least we're winning. Yeah, so they have 456, we have 271. Yeah, that's not exactly a good, area, or like point-wise, especially in the first 16 minutes, you really need to counter that. Look over here, this position is still barely holding on. And if you're wondering why I'm saying barely holding on, well, because again, he was about to move up all of his forces to counter, and that thing is consistently be under fire from that mortar half-track. But they moved in this nice little raid through the side. The issue with this raid is, they forgot about all the guys with bars and LMGs. Again, with this, you get this awesome Browning LMG, which the main thing it does against everything else. Oh yeah, he also has his howitzer hitting a position. Duh. Oh, I guess he lost the mortar half-track in the raid. But anyway, they destroy infantry. Like, these units will absolutely destroy all infantry in their path. So you really, really have to watch out and counter that. So anyway, they move up their Volks thinking we're the best. This is such a small map that I was able to heal my forces and then get back up to the line before he was able to charge. He saw my shock troops and I'm like, I'm out of here. See you later. So at this point, I'm going to capture this point and then go for the fuel again, because that's our main goal. We have to get that fuel, because right now, they have 23 fuel, and for the Oberkommando, that's bad for them to have that much fuel. It's really bad to not only have that much fuel, but also be technically losing to the Oberkommando fuel-wise as the Allies. Because we only have 22, and they have 23. That's pretty bad, because the Allies are technically supposed to get more fuel. Anyway, right now they actually have a decent population of guys similar to ours, and they do have a Panther, so he was able to save up and finally get his thing. They also have a Puma. I'm not exactly sure why they got the Puma, maybe for quick raids, but whatever the case may be, they got themselves a Puma. Yeah, my guess is they give the scout and help. So anyway, what's my idea? What's my plan, as you were? So Tank Killer, oh, he has a lot of manpower. He has a lot of infantry forces. He's trying to recap this area. I still have my AT gun in this sector trying to hold a guard in case they flank, and he has his AT gun right here, that way we're covering each area. Now the main issue that comes through this area is very simple. What if they send tanks, or like what about their like growing presence on the enemy side? This is a small map, but again, they can easily come over really quickly. Well, again, I know I've been probably showing this doctrine off a lot, but I love this doctrine. The counterattack doctrine is amazing, and I will bring out my secret weapon right now. It's a howitzer. But anyway, I have a T-34 they moved up, try to counter, and with a lot of AT firing in this area, they're going to fall back shortly. Oh my god, that howitzer, amazing hit, Stern Pioneer Squad. So I'm going to move up my AT gun, run it around. At least with the T-34 hiding here, they had to retreat their forces, and they actually took quite a bit of damage. In the meantime, we don't have that much riflemen, but they retreated once they saw that LMG. The thing though is, as you can see, they got Fallschirmjägers. Fallschirmjägers I hate because again, they can deploy anywhere, and they're really good at pretty much. Oh well, one grenade, check it out. Okay. They're really good just killing units and coming out of nowhere. The issue that this thing has is my T-34 shot it, and then we're just able to easily take it out. That's 440 manpower they just lost for a 10-point unit. That's a lot to just instantly waste. And don't get me wrong, it killed the AT gun, but the amount of reinforcements it'll take to get that AT gun back is very small compared to the how much it would take for that unit. Now if we look over here, I did capture that fuel. I did hit that mine over here with my shock troops, although my shock troops are now 3-star and are 22. Yeah, that's pretty good in my opinion. I have an MG gun here. As you can see, they have a large chunk of units. So right now I'm like, okay, what can I use? I don't have enough for a tank, so shock troops? Yeah, we'll see about shock troops. But my MG is about to die, so I'm going to retreat that. I have another MG and AT gun here guarding, because again, I know that they have this big barbed wire, so most likely they're going to say infantry this way, not all the way around. Hopefully. This is the most direct route. So I'm capturing this point. That will at least give us some points, but we need to capture the mid-back. Anyway, they do have a bunch of tanks, stuff like that. So I'm going to try to hit these forces, and I'm going to be incredibly lucky. So if we look here, they hit my T-34 from behind. Again, they keep attacking this angle. I should have expected it, but I was expecting this way. I did have AT gun ready, again, also fired, but I was so lucky. My shot fired, it brought this thing down to barely any health. That's amazing. That's incredibly lucky. And because of that, even though it did absolutely, it did not kill the unit. It only brought it down to the bare minimum health. It was at least able to start this thing up. Was able to bring up an AT gun. They set up a loose to flank. That's a bad idea when literally the enemy team is swarming with AT guns and bazooka troops. Look, this thing is fantastic when, let's say, they have NG nests or like a couple scout units chasing them down, or just chasing down units retreating in general, but never send a loose or a steward into an area with lots of AT. It will die. It will die, and it will not be pretty. Anyway, so I moved my AT gun to pretty much fire in this direction, and tank killer is going to keep going in circles, being captain about to fire. My bazooka's right here. I'm just like, how you doing? Yeah, that's great. You're shooting me, but I really couldn't care less. Anyway, my thing's still hitting it. We're still firing a lot of shots into it. The other AT gun's right here. Another plane goes down, but hey, at least not into our troops. And just the amount of fire we have, yeah, we were able to neutralize it. I think maybe a grenade from one of these units killed it. No, he doesn't have the right anti-tank. 1-star rifleman, by the way. Get this nice little anti-tank rifle grenade. I thought that's what killed it. Not sure what killed it. Maybe it was one of the AT.
Okay, on your feet, ladies.
What killed it?
Field gun standing by.
Was it my AT? Anyway, something killed it. So they have more Panzer Fusiliers taking over this area. I have conscripts guarding this area as well. Unfortunately, at this point, I know I have to really retreat my shock troops. And they do this gigantic attack over here. Well, maybe not gigantic, but they send in infantry and then they essentially send in all those, what's it called? Yeah, there we go. Fallschirmjägers in from this nice little airborne assault. That costs 250 manpower because of all the airstrikes and everything. The problem is he pretty much essentially did this for nothing. Because as you can see from each side, I don't have any troops over here. So there's no reason for them to do that. They could have easily just deployed Fallschirmjägers from a local building and just attacked. But instead they were thinking there was going to be a massive amount of units over here, so they did this. And then there was nothing, so they wasted it. That's 250 manpower down the drain, but hey, he wasn't using it anyway. He has 278. Whatever. So, but right now, as you can see, they have a ton of trucks and a ton of supplies being set up. So, yeah, we need to essentially start taking these units out. Also, we're down to 120. So, and we have no points under our control. We need to start countering. I'm resupplying all my forces. AT gun and double NGs are currently in mid, and I will attack shortly with a bunch of units. My goal is very simple. Have my T-34 cross this line, take out some of their forces, recap this point, and then recapture this point. Tank Killer's been having so many issues over here. At least in the meantime, use it as a temporary buff, and then do a dramatic assault over here and push. And by dramatic assault, I mean consistently use my artillery barrage to just keep pounding them in this sector. Because again, he has time assault. Oh, okay, there's the plane crash. Yeah, there's like, literally, bursting over command. Oh wow. There goes the half-track and the MG. And my artillery shot did a little bit against them. We have to reheal it, so that's a little bit more timeout. But I'm recapping this point, and as you can see, they have a Panther over here, which is bad, because the T-34 really can't fight a Panther, especially barely alive. I was able to throw an AT grenade, though, so that thing is, stuck. And with bazooka troops moving in, it's a sitting duck. I kind of do something really dumb and move over to capture this point, and I don't really capture it with my conscripts for a little bit later. Should have probably done that. Probably would have helped us out. Anyway. So right now they have this nice little defensive line, and if you're wondering how, support guns up range do a lot of damage. They will, if they notice you, and they can actually see you, do pinpoint strikes, and will do quite a bit. And Racken Morphers, again, really good against vehicles. Okay, so they have 2 support guns. Huh. I don't really use support guns or howitzers. I probably should. I just don't see the initial benefit of having those forces. Now those Obersoldaten are like the best, or one of the best units you have in the game. They're so powerful and they're so good against infantry. They can literally just walk up and on an MG, whether it's MG34 to an MG. Oh, there's my howitzer. Again, they kind of run away. They kind of just, instead of attacking more forces, they kind of retreated. Maybe they saw the other MG. And again, howitzer kind of scared them and made them run away. I was able to move up my tank gun. I did see this Rack Morpher, so I'm like, oh my god, retreat. Moving shock troops to kind of capture this point, although some pathfinding issues. Unfortunately for me, Diablo's pushing up, and yeah, he's mad. He wants to recap this area. The good news is, Diablo currently doesn't have any Panthers, nor do they have any real, well, have enough fuel to get a Panther or other heavy vehicles. On the other hand, this guy has a Panther, a Stuka, and a Puma. So yeah, there's the Panther, and that's bad for us. Because now they have Stuka coming in, and also that's really, really bad. My howitzer missed, so once again, not exactly the best. Did it miss? Sure, why not? Oh, you want? No, it did miss. That's the priest firing. Okay. Tank Killer brought in a priest to help support, because again, our goal is just to keep long-range fire. I think they're about to do another, yeah, this Fallschirmjäger thing, which is pretty smart. They know that I guess this is a major point, and this is one of the only points we actually have fuel on, so if they do enough airstrikes and everything, they can actually take out that point. The problem is, for whatever reason, airstrikes didn't hit. I'm not 100% sure why their units aren't getting pinned or anything. But, yeah, it's not really doing all that much and kind of failed and backfired. And he lost 250 more fuel. Not fuel, munitions, my bad. I have T-34, and since it's a star, I'll use it to cap. And then I have my KV-1 guarding the flank, along with some troops that'll help move in and take this point. The Panther took a little bit of damage, but I kind of see that to my advantage, and I'm like, okay, the Panther's going to be there for hopefully some time. Maybe I can hit this unit. Although, we look over here, Tank Killer's no fool. He is waiting. He has a Jackson guarding this flank with myself and his own AT guns guarding over here. The issue, Fallschirmjägers that are coming in. They will have to deploy some units, but the nice thing is he has two guys with LMGs they can easily send up. Oh, I'm sorry, not LMG. Is that a bar? Yeah, okay, so a bar and an LMG. A bar is really good. They're pretty good against infantry. If you give them to pretty much any unit, it'll just help the combat effectiveness, I would say, around medium range. Once again, another plane crashes, and once again, another howitzer hit. This one I find funny because the tank, which is so close to so close to being healed, I shot, and then it's about to die. So this thing's like, oh good, it's healed, and then they bring it up to pretty much move in for the assault, and it's barely alive. This thing, which is like, he was all prepped for this massive assault, is now stuck because it's so close to dying. He's like, oh, I have to go back to heal, guys, hold on. Oh, by the way, yes, we have 26 points, they have 442, and this giant infantry blob coming in. So they are prepping for a massive assault over here. And they did this breakthrough doctrine, which, as you can see, did quite a bit of damage. And damage, I mean, with the Fallschirmjäger, they kind of took out a single howitzer and an AT gun. Oh, and yeah, there's still Luke's back here. I don't know why we don't take that, but sure, there's a Luke's back here. Where'd that hit? I guess more shots over here. My goal was to like start like targeting these bunkers, try to take them out because hit so many forces. At this point, we thought it was game over because again, they're moving up all this, and then of course this giant red blob comes in, and we're just like, dear God, what do we do? Luckily, my howitzer did not fire. I was able to move over and hit it, took out so many infantry forces that literally it made them all back. I mean, at that point, it's just like, what do you do when you lose a good chunk of your forces to that kind of hit? And your Panther, still back, can't really pull that in, so can't really have any big, heavy armor. And with a Jackson going around with infantry units, you don't have that big driving push to kill that T-34. Sure, you have this Puma over here. I have a KV-1. Not only guarding this area, but I'm about to get another KV-1 to go over there. And Pumas are good against medium to light targets. A KV-1 I would consider as a medium aggressor, but it has heavy armor. So, yeah, it's still considered a heavy tank, but not exactly the most impressive firepower. So, essentially, you have a unit that is great for taking out units really fast against like this unbelievable giant, and it just can't really do all that much. Now I do have my shock troops here just to recapture this point. I know I have enough forces over here I can really keep them back. Oh, I did another round over here. Yeah, that kind of sucks. I keep hitting their forces over here, and all their units that they retreat back to one of these HQs keeps dying because I keep shooting at it. So, yeah, kind of sad for them. What's not sad is my KV-1, which they're going to be like, oh, this is going to be, hold on, this is going to be so amazing. I'm going to flank their forces with my Puma. It's going to be amazing. KV-1 comes around the flank. One of the slowest heavy tanks in the game. I was able to come around and flank a Puma. I call that an accomplishment. And boom. Again, barely any damage. Can't really pierce my armor. But right now we have all the recapture points under our control, and I call that a miracle because we only have 26 points left. I move up my KV-1 and my T-34 to try and take out some of these forces. That can kind of work because, okay, he's in negative cover, so that kind of helps me out. Because I was able to do some lucky shots on him. He's also 5-star, so having 2 tanks fire upon this one unit, it's not necessarily going to do all that much because again, he's 5-star, but I'm lucky enough to where I just keep concentrated fire on it, he's like, okay, retreat. He's had enough. And that thing's down to 1, so at least they know he won't be coming back anytime soon. So now it's like, okay, take out this unit, because if I take out this thing's officer, they'll have to retreat. And they'll have to retreat all their forces. Or they should. If that thing retreats, if the officer dies, usually they all have to retreat. So my KV-1s are still over here. I'll use my comm engineers to retake this point. I have more conscripts, I'll send that in very shortly. And again, I'm just using my howitzer to keep doing constant barrages in this area. And lucky, I was able to at least do quite a bit of damage and take out that. Unfortunately for me, they're able to just keep doing a lot of fire with mortar, I think. Either that or did Fallschirmjäger and they did a nice little assault, but yeah, I lost my forces. And that's kind of bad to lose 2 tanks. So, this thing wasn't capturing. I'm not exactly sure why it wasn't capturing, but I will have to retreat this unit, because this unit's so close to dying. Oh, another good hit. It takes out that support gun that's been driving us bonkers since mid-game. Now, they bring up this Panther, flanks the Jackson. We're in a position like, oh no. Move up the KV-1. Move up a Sherman. Now, the Sherman, again, as long as you have armor-piercing rounds, it'll do some damage against a Panther. Move up some riflemen that can... Oh, wait, no, he can't fire the AT grenade. This thing is so close to dying, but come on, just one more shot. His Sherman gets a lucky shot. That thing goes out of bounds. Just fast enough in which it can't really fire again, and dies. So I call that a pretty good accomplishment. Also, move up enough conscripts that we're able to push back the Obersoldaten and pretty much keep this area. Now again, we have 26 points. We cannot lose more than we have to at least hold 1 and neutralize 1. Otherwise, we lose. Now they again attack both, and I do another recon to see what they have. And I'm like, okay, they have a couple forces over here. I have no idea why it hit here, but like took out the unit here. It must have like bounced or something. Or the, oh no, you know what, the priest hit it, that's what. I fired with the priest. Maybe. I think. I'm not 100% sure. That's artillery in this area. MG is currently hitting this, but they're pushing up more infantry and everything. But that's kind of bad for my MG, because again, they're just flanking it. And they're using this... If they were really smart, they would use this ability and pretty much make my unit retreat. Now, as you can see here, that unit was pretty much full health, why to retreat. When you kill that officer, anything close by will make that unit retreat. As you can see here, we're pushing up. Shock troops instantly kill that unit, and I'm so happy because that's a pretty high vetted unit to take out. Move up more shock troops to help take out this area. Kind of see them retreating, neutralize that point. No longer able to retreat there. Fantastic. Alright, I have conscripts and MGs being healed. This thing has 27 kills. Pretty good. And it hasn't really killed any vehicles. I've had another game where that thing like killed like 9 vehicles. In this game, again, pretty good. So, Diablo's like good game. I don't know if he was being sarcastic or like thinking he was about to win this. But yeah, the fact that we're actually able to still hold out and win this game with 10 points remaining, and the fact we only had a quarter of the map for a majority of the game, pretty good on my end. Pretty good. Anyway, I move up shock troops to try to recap this point. They have Fallschirmjägers, I have shock troops. 3-star shock troops. So these Fallschirmjägers don't stand a chance. Because again, my guys, triple vetted, can just easily mow down all these forces. Another howitzer kind of misses the Stuka. Shock troops again, kind of holding these troops off. I think I'm about to throw a grenade. No, or just kill it. Yeah, there we go. And I'm gonna go and take that point. I'll move up some conscripts barely alive to take that point. Alright, heal my KV-1, back up to full health. That thing was really close to dying earlier. And yeah, just keep my guys here, just in case. I do have a mine. I kind of put a few mines in this area, but not too much. I realized that I was kind of using a lot of my munitions for recon site. That way I could use it for my howitzer. Now again, my howitzer I could use the 90 to target, but now it's so... It has such good accuracy that you can pretty much pinpoint it now that really you don't need to. I do wonder if Relic's going to change that. Again, I only recently started using this, so again, I'm not sure if it's just with a recent update that's so good or something, or maybe it's just I'm just a good player and I'm using it effectively, or maybe the enemy team is just too dumb to take it out. But yeah, that thing is pretty good if you get it vetted up. So anyway, right now you can see level 22 doesn't have all that much. He has a Puma, which kind of had to fall back because of the Sherman, sorry, and all the infantry. And they have a Puma, which I'm not exactly sure why they're getting a Puma, or their fascination with the Puma. They still have a Stuka, which is currently bombing our forces. And yeah, so he was actually... Okay, so he's saying his level is Vet 3 guy. It's Vet 5, his highest vet against my shock troops. That was a bad call on your end. Also, you should probably get more infantry, because your main goal is, all you need to do is capture. They do have a Stuka, kind of wipes out my forces here, so I'll say it was a good barrage. But look at Diablo, he kind of is, well, he has a Panther, which is doing okay. But, yeah, for two guys that are literally winning by so much, they don't have all that much in terms of manpower and everything. No, they do have all the points, and they're kind of focusing on fuel for whatever reason to get the big heavy tanks. But again, this is my point. You can get a big heavy tank, and don't get me wrong, I have a big heavy tank, but the big heavy tank they have has a much more powerful gun than mine. This has like, I think an 88mm? But anyway. The point of the matter is that it ran over my mine, so that was lucky. It ran over my mine and destroyed its engine, which was extremely lucky. I then used KV-1 fire, which as you can see, it's not piercing it. So I'm like, okay, well, this is kind of bad. Sherman comes in. That'll help. They move in a Puma, also. I use my howitzer, pretty much knock it out. It just abandons it. I'm like, this is the best day ever. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move my KV-1, help take out that unit. That thing retreats. The Puma's hiding because it's like, okay, can't really verse a Sherman. I mean, God, Puma can do some nice hits on a Sherman. Don't expect it to kill the Sherman. So anyway, I'm right here. They have, unfortunately, the Bolshevikers will easily take out my conscripts. What they won't take out is 3-star shock troops, accompanied by more conscripts. They're gonna die right there. I'm gonna slowly move this thing back. I want this thing to live so bad. I'm like, yes, retreat. I at least kill one unit before they take it out with the Puma, which I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So yeah, once again, this thing is 34 kills. I don't think it's not killed a single vehicle. It has weakened them down to a small portion of health, as shown here, but it's not killing them. What I will do here is I will throw a conscript, through the conscripts I'll throw an AT grenade, neutralize the Puma, and then my shock troops will make this thing run. I think it'll kill, no, it won't kill it, okay. At this point, they don't have exactly all that left. At this, me and like Tank Killer are like, oh wow, we're doing pretty good. So they have a Stuka fire, and luckily Tank Killer warned me and I was able to move my troops out of the way. But yeah, they don't have any big tanks left. And Diablo has a couple forces left, but he has a Loops. Okay, that's not exactly the best thing. Wait a second, he got a Loops for 50. He's still there. I know they quit out, that's why I'm keeping chat open shortly, but... So anyway, enough concentrated fire. I'm not sure exactly what that Loops was hoping to achieve, but AT gun and everything else, pretty good. Use another round. Yeah, it kind of messes up that track, so they no longer have that battle group to heal their units. Kind of sad for them. Also kind of hurt their other forces. And the only thing they have left is a Rocking River with a bunch of Panzer Fusiliers, which I can guarantee the only reason why he's deploying is that we can instantly deploy them out. And this guy has a Stuka and a 2-man squad of Fallschirmjägers, which he's going to make a desperate drive to try to take back one of these points. All they need to do is capture this point and hold it for 2 seconds and they would win. they're like, they have us down to 10. That has to be extremely frustrating, the fact like they can't beat us. Oh, and this is probably the highlight. Wait. Boom. And there goes that unit. So, yeah. I have no tanks, by the way. I just have infantry, and I'm still able to hold this point. If they brought about a Puma, that might have been bad, but, you know. I'm still healing a Sherman. I do have an AT, and we can do constant grenades. This guy quits out. He realizes, I guess, the fight is not going in his favor, so he quits. And then his teammate's going to say, good game. But, yeah. Oh, time our target barrage. We had another howitzer, I think, ready to fire. Yep. And that's game. That's how we were able to take these guys out. I mean, don't get me wrong. Both these doctrines, these Luftwaffe ground forces and breakthrough, are really, really good. And I can't really see anything about them that's necessarily negative about this map. And same thing with these two. Again, artillery is, since this is such a small map, is you can easily hit targets a little bit easier. But yeah, it was just a great comeback after such a I wouldn't say devastating loss, but hollow victories in the beginning where we were doing damage, but we were taking a lot of losses and we weren't exactly gaining ground. I was killing Kuba wagons left and right, but we weren't exactly pushing into their territory. Oh, yeah. And every squad they kill, I mean, every squad I would kill, they would kill as well. So yeah, it was a slow start, and yeah, the Panthers didn't help, but we were able to counter, and taking out those headquarters definitely helped. And yeah, we just used our advantage, and I probably have to say the biggest help for the comeback was probably the howitzers. So the two priests and the howitzer just consistently barraging the enemy really, really helped, and that just utterly destroyed them. Yeah, I mean, the problem is with the Oberkommando, and this is a major highlight, is the fact that the Oberkommando is stationary buildings. So you want to make sure they're protected, and if they are in danger or they're under attack, you want to make sure that they are, again, pretty much out of fire. That's both a risk reward, where you probably want the battle group headquarters to, I mean, like, heal your forces. Sorry, mechanized. Wait, no, that's not mechanized. Where's the? What's this one? Is this battle group? Yeah, battle group, mechanized, panzer. Okay. Yeah, the battle group headquarters, you want to make sure it's close to the front lines along with any of them. That way you can heal your guys pretty quick and then send them back out. But again, that's a risk reward. Even though they have all their bunkers in their base and pretty much all their things, our artillery's hitting them. Now, again, the smart thing we did is make sure their artillery, aka this, since we knew that they were kind of using breakthrough doctrine, was again away from this point, so that way their artillery couldn't hurt it. And if you have that and away from all the buildings and protected by machine gun emplacements in your base, they can't really do all that much. I mean, they would literally have to send a tank in to hurt it. And when last time they sent in a Panther and a Lukes, they died. So it was just well protected overall. I just love the double MGs guarding that thing, just like it will not be destroyed. Along with the priest. That way, again, if they send infantry across, like Fallschirmjägers or something else, we would be okay. Anyway, if we look at points, I did 3,600 damage. I would say that's pretty good. Tank Killer did 25. He admitted it wasn't his best game, but I'll say this. He did exceptionally well holding that flank and then slowly pushing up, because again, as you can see, he pushed up all the way to here. So for those who were saying he wasn't doing the best, he did really, really well and was able to push pretty well into the enemy lines, essentially right up to the front of their base. I mean, their flak emplacements are right there, so he's like probably within a couple feet. I would say about 20 feet of their base, like between the firing lane. The enemy team, they did pretty well. They did about 32,000 respectively, about 150 kills. So again, they were pretty good. Personally, my best unit. Nope, that's not me. Let's look at TK. His best unit was the Rifleman. I pretty much I understand why. That was pretty much his backbone. It was able to push up. Sherman took a lot of hits. Priest did a lot of kills. Yeah, again, the RD really helped in the long game, because we were just able to take out the Panthers, reduce their health. We weren't killing them. We were just reducing them to a state they couldn't attack us, which is exactly what you want. Because if they can't attack you, they're relatively just out of the picture for the short term, which can help you out in the long term, because you can then build a counteroffense. My best, most valuable unit was that AT gun. I can believe it. It was able to kill Koob wagons, panthers, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, I can definitely see that. I was surprised it was not the howitzer, but whatever the case. Shock troops again, also very good unit. Surprised that wasn't up there. And let's see, KV-1 did pretty good. My Panther got 5%. Shock troops 777. Wow, pretty good. Howitzer really good as well. Oh wow. So if we look 72, oh 75. That's why. Anyway, that's game. So I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.